Now, I was thinking about the Yankees.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about what's going on now. We have 6 games left to go.
That's right.
And this
Must
is going
watch.
to be this is basically a sprint to the finish.
Al told me he's staying up to watch every one of these games.
So I know
these last 6.
You know that there's buzz.
There's
when
buzz.
Al Dukes gets involved.
That's what he told me.
Buzz situation.
Every inning, every pitch.
Right. So the Yankees are 89 and 67. The Red Sox are 88 and 68. The Blue Jays are 87 and 69. And we're all sitting here going, man, these 3 teams are going to be battling it out. 2 of the 3 are going to get it. The Mariners are 87 and 70. Right. They are right there as well. And the Mariners only have 5 games left. And the Mariners got to play 2 more against Oakland, who lost their shortstop, of course. And they have to play 3 more against the Angels. So the best that the Mariners can do is, if they win all of those games, is 92 and 70.
Yeah, there's actually still a scenario where there's a 5-way tie. Believe it or not.
There is. There really is. Now, Houston is involved in this, but really I do believe that Houston's going to win the West. They already have 91 wins. They're 91 and 65. Tampa Bay, there's 6 games left. They're up by 6 games. Yeah. They're 97 and 59. They're going to be the number 1. Houston's going to be Houston and Chicago are still fighting for the 2nd seed, if you will, because Chicago's 89 and 68.
Yeah.
So Chicago has clinched the Central. Houston's still fighting the Mariners for the West. They'll end up getting their magic numbers, 1 or 2 or so. And then Tampa, of course, has got the East. But I'm telling you, these 4 teams that are going for this wild card, it is going to be a wild 6 days. It is really going to be a wild 6 days. I was thinking that the Yankees, I believe, have to win 2 out of 3 in this series. If they win 2 out of 3 in this series, they'll get to 91 and 68.
Okay.
All right. And that means the Blue Jays would then fall to 88 and 71.
And then you feel pretty good about the last 3.
Then you feel like, Tampa Bay's got everything locked up. I don't know how they'll play, but it's baseball season.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
You just never know. But I still think you got to take 2 out of 3 from the Rays in order to, I believe, lock up at least the home game at Yankee Stadium with Garrett Cole on the mound, either most likely against the Red Sox. Because take a look at these schedules, and again, I know that it's baseball season. You got the Red Sox playing the Orioles and the Nationals.
Yep.
And they're on the road at those 2 teams. But, those are games that really, honestly, let's face it, they should win 5 out of those 6 games, no worse than 4 out of those 6 games.
Sure, but you never know with those teams that have been out of it for a long time as the season is starting to end. There's some that pack it up, and there's others that love to play spoiler. Remember the Miami Marlins, all those years, those 2 years with the Mets and the collapses, they were out of it, and they loved beating the Mets to finish them off.
All right, so let's say the Red Sox win 4 out of 6. That means they get to 92 wins.
Okay.
So I think the Yankees have got, to me, if you really want it, they got to win 4 out of 6. They get to 93 wins.
Okay.
Okay, so I think that's the target number.
That's the target.
I believe that's the target number to try
0 in, 93.
I mean, and that's a safe target. To me, that's a safe, okay, we're going to have home field in the wild card game, and that's what we want. So I kind of think you got to go 2 out of 3 here with the Toronto Blue Jays, and then go 2 out of 3 with the Rays, and then you get yourself to 92 wins. That's what I think.
Now, I don't know about you, Boomer. I'm more of a 1 pitch, 1 inning, 1 game at a time type of guy.
Wins, 93 wins.
So it's hard for me to look ahead in that way. I'm all about tonight. I'm all about now. I'm all about living in the moment.
Right. Okay.
I was inspired by the Hare Krishna-ism of Al, and I've become a Buddha. And the Buddhism mantra is that you live in the moment. So I can't look ahead. It's impossible for me to look ahead.
Like 1 inning, 1 game at a time.
It's all about tonight and the Blue Jays.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I'm just giving the Yankee fan an understanding. I believe if you take 4 out of the next 6, and you get to 93 wins, you're good. That's what I think.
That's what it's going to take. Yeah, I mean, and then after that, what Yankee team are we going to get in the postseason? One that is lit on fire and starts to just steamroll people because they're capable of it, with the starting pitching and the bullpen finally in sync and the lineup doing everything that we wanted it to do? Or is it going to be another one of these bad defense, strikeout, bullpen meltdown Yankees? I'm not sure, and that's what makes this kind of exciting as we head into this thing. I have no friggin' idea who they are. I don't know who they are.
And that's what makes the final week of Major League Baseball exciting, because even though you have teams that aren't playing for anything. They are playing to spoil the team that they're playing against, situation and opportunity to get into the playoffs. So this is why this is amazing. This is where baseball, and I'm telling you, watching the games against the Red Sox, they were compelling games.
Yeah.
They were fun to watch. Even though the Friday night game was a total blowout from the beginning, it's just fun to watch meaningful baseball games where you're sitting there and all of a sudden it's second and third and no outs, and can a pitcher get out of the fourth inning, and wiggle his way out of it.
Right.
And then you're seeing, you got the shift, you got guys, all right, they're conceding a run, they're looking to make a double play. I mean, all of the things that we love about baseball actually come to fruition now because every game is just completely broken down. We all have a critical eye as to what the manager is doing. We all have a critical eye to what the high money guys are doing. We all have a critical eye as to whether or not Gary Sanchez is going to catch every ball that's thrown to him, or Gleyber Torres is going to throw one into left field. I mean, so there's so many things that are going on right now, and this is really, and given the fact that the Jets and the Giants are 0-6. I mean,
we need this.
I can't talk about it anymore. I'm like,
we're going to have to at some point, don't you think?
My head is exploding.
Yeah, I know. It's
already.
tough. Yeah, I mean, it only took 6 months for the baseball season to get interesting. So that's good for the game.
The Yankees have been interesting because they've been so good at a point, and they were so bad at a point, and now they're back being good again. They've won 6 in a row. They're finishing strong, and they're healthy. That's the key. And they're getting guys back in their bullpen. So I don't know. To me, these final 6 games, starting with tonight's game, it's all must-watch TV.
Yeah, no, it certainly is, especially with the fact that you just had the Red Sox series, then you got the Blue Jays, and even though the Rays should have everything locked up, it's the Rays again to end the season. If they have any chance of knocking the Yankees out of the playoffs, they probably are going to try to do that because they can't stand the Yankees. So, yeah, it's going to be great. And then you'll have a must-watch game with the wild card game. Hopefully the Yankees are in it and so on. But, yeah, basically New York sports, once again, is dependent on the New York Yankees. That's what it is. And we do have the winter sports coming up where there is some excitement around multiple teams. And, of course, there's a lot of drama around one of those teams as well. But you're right. Football is dead, and basically it's what is going to be the next phase of either one of these teams. Are there going to be significant changes? How bad does it get? Do the Jets lose every game? Do the Giants make some sort of change with an offensive coordinator during the season? That's basically what we're going to be talking about. Now, you yesterday were trying to convince me the Giants aren't done, so maybe they aren't done. I don't know.
I'm just telling you, it's a long way to go, and I think they do have. They're in these games. They're in the games. The Jets aren't in the games. The Jets haven't had a chance. I mean, offensively, they have been just so stifled by everything that's going on. Last night watching this Dallas Cowboy game, now Kellen Moore is the offense coordinator for Dallas, and on the second touchdown, he drew up a play where the tight end normally would go to what we call it, like some would describe it as a 7 route. I would describe it as a down and to the corner route, a corner route, if you will. And the way that he designed this play and the way that their tight end Schultz ran the play was he looked like he was going to do that. It confused the secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles, and Dak Prescott calmly just put the ball right on his tight end for an easy touchdown. And I'm saying, that's the creative play design that, you want to see from, offensive coordinators. But then again, you still need a guy that has got a wealth of experience, that is sitting in the pocket and knows what he's looking at and knows when to throw it. And not all these teams that have these rookie quarterbacks have the luxury of having that happen for them. And that's why the Jets are struggling, the Chicago Bears are struggling, the Jaguars are struggling. Mac Jones got his ass beat this week against the New Orleans Saints. He struggled this week. I mean, so this is going to be a reoccurring theme all across the league. But the established quarterbacks, you saw Aaron Rodgers do it on Sunday night. We saw Dak Prescott do it last night. We saw Matthew Stafford and Tom Brady go toe-to-toe. We saw Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes go toe-to-toe. We saw Josh Allen get his game back in the swing of things again. So there's a lot of great stories and a lot of great quarterbacks around the leagues, but there's going to be a lot of headaches with young quarterbacks. And that's why it's really frustrating for the Giants because, the quarterback is the engine that runs the team. He cannot have a flat game. He cannot be a flat liner. They've came through 16 years of flatlining with Eli. They won 2 Super Bowls with him because he was clutch in those 8 games, including the 2 Super Bowls, and they had a great defensive line, and they had a coach who's basically a pain in the ass to everybody. and was, and then as his time went on here, everybody fell in love with the guy because he won. But, their quarterback cannot be a freaking flatliner. Cannot. He has got to be a guy that has got to be the reason why the team is winning. Look at Kyler Murray, for instance. Look at Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, well,
look at Josh Allen. Look at these kids when they get out on the field. They are not going to get beat. Now, they're not going to win every game. But for the most part, when you turn on the TV for those games and you are a fan of those teams, the Bengals with Joe Burrow, the Charger fan with Justin Herbert, when you turn on the TV and you watch those games as those fan bases, they're excited about what they're seeing. That cannot be said right now for either one of these fan bases here, especially the Jets are starting over. That's one thing. The Giants have legitimate expectations, and to be at 0-3 at this point is extremely disappointing for all of us.
Did you happen to see the spreads yet in the local games?
I did not.
All right, so we want to take a guess. Titans at Jets.
Titans at Jets, I'm going to say the Titans by, I'm going to say 9.5.
It's 7.5. Okay. I thought it would be more as well.
I thought it would be, yeah.
And this is, of course, courtesy of FanDuel Sportsbook. It probably maybe more by the time the game kicks off. Giants at Saints. Giants at Saints.
I'm going to say 5.5. 4, the Saints are favored 5.5.
It is actually the Saints 7.5 as well. Both teams are a 7.5 point underdog. So, which is tied.
Saints are like a Jekyll and Hyde team, man. One week, awesome, just rip it up, and and then the next team they got hammered by the Panthers.
I know.
Kind of makes me think that the Panthers are pretty good.
There is a gigundo spread in the NFL this week. Huge. You very rarely see spreads this high.
All right.
Texans at Bills.
Oh, yeah. The Bills got to be 14.5.
16.5.
Yeah. I mean,
16.5.
Davis Mills is probably going to start.
Yeah.
And if he starts against that Buffalo defense, you've seen the Buffalo defense the last 2 weeks, start to flex the muscles. And then, of course, Josh Allen had his breakout game against Washington.
Oh, it's a breakout game.
No, they've already had a breakout game.
Yeah.
So now they're getting ready to kick it into high gear.
A high gear spot.
This is where Buffalo starts to separate themselves in the AFC East. It's definitely a high gear spot, pedal to the metal spot. And this is for the Houston Texans. They are the sacrificial lamb spot.